Christ.
I got a guest today, but I don't think he's late. He's Mexican, so. You know, I could not believe what I learned today. The Office of the Welfare, I don't know if that is it.
I think this is gonna work.
No?
Might.
From the lakes in Minnesota.
Put it that loud.
It's not anything. God damn, something interferes with this thing. Anyways, we're on the air, go.
Hello, Las Vegas. This is Rolando Larraz with Face the Tribune. Remember, if you have nothing to hide, if you have nothing to worry about, if you are not corrupted, you can face the Tribune. Otherwise, the Tribune will face you. With me today, as always, my co-host, Mr. Producer, Mr. Clark Finley.
Good afternoon.
And today, I'm supposed to have a guest. Miguel Barrientos is supposed to be here with the Hispanics. I forgot the name of the organization. South Spanish something. I'm sorry, but when he get here, we can discuss that. You know, I was shocked this morning with something that I could not believe it could happen, and not only in this country, but in this city. The welfare department, I don't know if they are federal or state or county, I don't know what they are, but the office don't answer the phone until 4:30 in the afternoon. They close at 5, but they start answering the phone at 4:30 in the afternoon.
And it's the welfare department?
Yes. I assume most people that call the welfare, regret it or not, like it or not, they call there because they need some type of help. This is my column for tomorrow. So I don't want to talk too much about this because I wanted to make sure that people read my column tomorrow. But I assume most people that call the welfare department, what are these Democrats doing? What are all these Democrats doing in an office who's not answering the phone? And I don't even know if they are.
Bureaucrats, I guess. You call them bureaucrats, don't you?
I call them Democrats because 90% of the employees and the government employees are Democrats. And as long as they are there, they can get an attitude, they can get they get an attitude and they get all that stuff. But as soon as they get fired, they cry discrimination. I assume most of them have to be blacks, you know, not only Democrats, but blacks. And so as soon as they get fired or they get laid off, they start come out with all the tricks and all the dirty stuff that they know that has been happening for the last 10, 15 years. They've been working in that office. And I'm not trying to single out anybody. I'm not trying to make it look like it is definitely a democratic attitude. But he answering on me? He talking to me?
Yeah.
How dare he talk to me?
That's they make outgoing calls. They don't make incoming calls to them.
They don't take incoming, but
Just
they take outgoing.
Yeah,
calls.
outgoing.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, and I believe that something has to be done. It's a lot of people nowadays, they need help. They need help yesterday, not today, not tomorrow, not after 5 o'clock, you know. Don't be abusive, don't take an attitude, don't be so criminally, mentally abusive with people that need help. You know, it's like another thing. Well, I already talked about that a long time ago, but you know, if you get food stamps, you cannot buy toilet paper or toothpaste.
Well, you can, you just can't buy it with the food stamps.
Well, of course, you can buy it with money. You don't have to
Right.
tell the grocery guy or woman, the cashier, then you have food stamps. But I mean, if you need help,
Well, I don't know, is toilet paper, you can't eat it. Maybe the food stamp program is for substance, so you can
it's for
eat.
food only.
Yeah,
Well, I know, but I thought that was kind of some way of helping. And if you need to look presentable to go look for a job, you need to brush your teeth.
probably, yeah.
You need to be clean. You cannot eat and then don't have anything to clean yourself with, and then smell like what you just did. You know,
Yeah.
it's not the best situation in the world. And I understand. I'm sure that there will be some merchants that work out deals, because I seen it at the 7-Eleven store. You know, people go there and buy beer with a food stamp.
Yeah, there's a lot of abuse that goes on too, where
Yeah.
you can turn in your food stamps for maybe, I don't know what the percentage is, but you can get cash. In other words, you can sell your food stamps for a percentage
Oh, really?
of what it's worth. So if you're a store owner, let's say, I'm not accusing anybody,
No.
but if you get food stamps from somebody and they're valued at 100%, whatever it is, the store owner can get 100% return for that money.
Yeah.
So what if he gives the food stamp person 75%? He makes 25% like that day. He turns those food stamps in with his receipts. He gets the money right away.
Yeah.
Isn't that subject to abuse?
Very much so.
Yeah, my God.
And I understand why they put those kind of rules and regulations, but you know, I don't think whoever is gonna commit the crime, they're gonna commit the crime no matter what. You know, give people the opportunity to look decent, to look presentable, to look at least dignify those people by allowing them to brush their teeth, or I don't know what else you can do, to maybe soap, to take a bath.
Can you buy soap with food stamps? Probably not.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Probably not.
If you cannot buy, and I understand. You know, a lot of people may want to, maybe want to buy cigarettes or beer or whatever. You know, I don't see how that is possible. But I believe that that is something that it will be worth investigating. You know, it will be worth investigating that thing for the future. You know, and see, I told you, Miguel Barriento is never late. He is here. I know he's never late. Move a little closer so you can be in the cameras. Okay? Is your assistant gonna be in the show too?
No, she's
No?
gonna be on the air today, but she'll
No?
be helping us.
She's not gonna be in the air.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Miguel Barriento is here with Spanish, what is the name of your company?
Es el Concilio Hispano, the Hispanic Council. Hispanic Council.
Hispanic Council. And Miguel Barriento has been an active member of the Spanish community for at least 10 years in Las Vegas, right?
I have been here actually going on 15 years, been 15 years. I got here in 2001, so it's been 15 years.
Yeah, and he also has his own radio show. Then one time he even made me get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go do that radio show with him. 5 to 8 or 5 to...
It was 5 to 8 a.m. and we had that for 8 years on the air.
Yeah, and we always, we don't always agree on everything, but we compromise because he is bigger than me and stronger than me, so I have to compromise. But
You know, I have a whole lot of respect for you. You've done a lot of great things in the community, and that should be...
Thank you very much. I know you do. I know. Now, one of the reasons you are here is because you wanted to talk about a school choice.
Well, you have mentioned
What is a school choice?
Is that I want to talk about? Is that there was a subject I think that's affecting the Latino community right now that we're very concerned about, and school
Maybe
choice.
The Latino community.
Well, no, not the general community in general, but I am in the Latino market. I serve the Latino community. I'm in the Latino media. I am a bridge to the Latino community, so my focus is Latino, but it's not necessarily saying it only affects the Latino community, because it's basically a general issue here. It affects every race, every child in the school system, and every parent. And I think there's a lot of misled information on how they're bringing it to place that school choice is not a good thing. After looking at it carefully, after looking at the current situation, you know, I agree with Governor Brian Sandoval. He knows there's an issue that needs to take place to correct the problem that we're facing in the school districts, especially Clark County School District. And one of the problems is we have a high percentage of Latino dropout. We're not finishing high school. This may be something with no matter for somebody, but in the long run, in the next 10, 15 years, you're gonna have a tremendous crisis, a highly unemployment community, and what we're saying, we have a chance to fix it now, so these numbers won't be as high as they would be, because technology is changing, and we need to go out of our way a little further to make sure that we don't have a 60% Latino dropout. Overall, we should have nobody dropping out of school.
60%?
So up to 60%. There was even years during the high time of the recession, it hit like 72.
Clark,
So
you don't have any kids, are you? Young kids?
Not in school.
Not in school.
It's alarming. It's an alarming situation, and when school choice came into the picture, that it was passed by the legislature, was voted on, it went through all the legal process, it came to be, and then it was headed by the state treasurer's office, Mr. Dan Schwartz. He brought it to the community, but it's funny about it, when it came to be as a law, the leadership that were very concerned about education never brought this to the Latino community. Never said, hey, there's an opportunity here for a different plan to get Latinos educated, to get your children educated. If your child's going to a school that is malfunctioning, is not giving you the results that you need to have a child educated when he gets to high school and into college, now's the time to make a change. And the law says, well, you can now take this kid out of that school that's not working for you to take it to a private school that may do a better job, and the funds are going to be allocated to the school district, will be removed a portion to be given to the school so we can educate your kid. Because this is ridiculous, being the 50th state with the worst education system in the country. Now that we have an alternative to the problem, it's being put on hold through the Supreme Court of Nevada, and basically it's the Democrats, unfortunately, it's the Democrats that are slowing down the Latino progress by not providing a full opportunity for people to take advantage of this and have their children better educated in Nevada.
But wait a minute, slow down.
No, I mean, that's my point. That's my point.
You are Mexican, and you supposedly...
I'm in America, Rolando. I was born in America. You were born in Cuba, so you're Cubano. I'm an American, so my parents are from Mexico.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Your grandparents were born here too, right?
My grandfather from my mother's side was born in Texas. I will be second, third generation Tejano, and from my father's side, I will be first generation
But
from Mexico.
you still has a Mexican blood on
Of
you.
course, I'm
So
very proud of
you
it.
gotta be a Democrat.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. That is a myth. I think that is changing.
Oh,
I think those numbers are changing too. I mean, the Republican Party is doing a lousy job.
very lousy.
Lousy.
I agree.
The Republican Party does not have a brain cell in their skull that functions with the word Latino. And if they did, you will see some tremendous changes because there's a lot of opportunities to bring the Latino to the Republican Party, and they are really throwing that opportunity away. So the people say, well, you don't want me? I don't need to be there. So they're screwing up big time. You want to put it that way.
Well, I didn't mean to change the subject of the issue, which is very important. I was just trying to give him a little bit of.
And by the way, Rolando, just to be clear also that the Democrat Party is also just as bad as the Republicans is trying to do
Definitely.
Latino outreach. I
Definitely.
mean, they've taken the Latino vote for granted, and they think now because they are, like, most Latinos are Democrat, that they can just go to the store and get whatever they want without nobody saying anything. You know what? Times are changing. The millennium generation is moving up. The education is an issue. People are looking at politicians a lot different than we did 5 years ago. Politicians need to understand that.
I'm gonna have to agree with Clark when he said, nobody is better than anybody. And maybe we don't need parties.
I'm a big supporter of the what do the parties do for you when you think about it.
They divide the community. They divide the
They're
nation.
divisive.
That's all they do.
What company has half of their employees no and half of them yes?
Exactly.
What would get done? Bankruptcy would get done.
Exactly.
That's what gets done. And we're $20 trillion in debt because of the way we run the country.
Exactly.
We're divided.
Okay.
It's not working.
You'll
This
never
is
be any of but
this
that.
is not the 50s, the 60s anymore. Where we're proud of our politicians that were leaders out there in the forefront. We don't have those anymore. We have a bunch of crooked businessmen that by using the Latino community to get a vote, to get a dollar, they think they're going to
You
get
know,
with
the
it.
unions
It's
were
wrong.
necessary back in the workshop days, or whatever you would call them, you know, where the owners would take advantage of everybody and not give them a decent whatever. But so you needed unions. So unions came up to represent people in mass. Well, now, what do the unions do for you? They represent themselves.
They're lobbyists. They're political
Yeah.
lobbyists now.
Yeah.
With the memberships funds, they're buying political power.
Everything changes because people change it.
Yeah.
And when you got corruption going on and power, that's what corrupts everybody.
Yeah, but in the defense of the union, there's also still a need for representation in the workplace for against these greedy corporations that don't want to pay their employees well for what they're getting in return. So the unions are somewhat responsible for the good of that, but they are not the unions we saw 20, 30 years ago when they were for the people. Now they're political.
Unfortunately, the situation in Las Vegas, it might be a little different than any place else. You have, for example, you got the station casinos. They pay an equal or better that the union joints are paying. They got better resort, very much better benefits for the employees than any other hotel with a union. So in Las Vegas, I think it may be a unique place to talk about that, but I know it's very difficult for me to bring you back, and I know how important for you it is the school choice because you got 5 children, so that's not, I guess you didn't have a television at home, and that's why you got 5 kids, but.
Well, I guess that means your love. We have so many children like that. It's pure love, brother. It's all love.
But let's talk about
But
the.
you know, with that in mind, just to clear the situation, because the people are being misled that school choice is going to bankrupt the school district. The school system is a bankrupt system. It's bankrupting our kids is what they're doing.
Yeah.
So if we have an alternative, if your child is going to Clark County School District, going to a magnet school, and he's getting a good education in return, and you're one of those parents that gets involved with their homework like everybody should, and you're okay with it, no problem. Stay where you're at. Congratulations, your child's on his way to something good. But if you are a parent that your child does not coming with F's and D's and bad behavior, and you're not involved in this and that, Well, then that's not the school system's problem. That's your problem. You need to deal with at home before that child goes to school. But if you are a hardworking parent who's concerned about the children, gets involved with their education after school, and goes to the meetings, and the school's not working, you have now the law on your side to say, I'm taking my kid out of the school. This institution is not building the education fundamentals that my child needs to get to advance in college, so I am taking him to another school.
Yeah, but let me ask you something.
And the law says you can.
As a result of that, what you just said, some schools are teaching good, they're doing a good job, some ones are not. It wouldn't be a better way to do it, or cheapest way to do it, by trying to change the school principal or the teachers, or instead than
Yes.
taking the kid out of the school,
Pay.
and taking to a private school, you mean?
Yeah, I think, look.
How many private schools are in Las
Well,
Vegas?
I think if you add them all up right now, the total population of the school system in Nevada will only be affected by about 3%. That's how much,
How many
that's how much
private
capacity, I
schools?
don't know exactly how many there is, but the capacity is about 2-3% of the total school population. So it's not really like putting a big dent in the system, but the union's howling, oh no, if we lose a student, we're losing $5,000. If we lose 100 students, that's a lot of money, we're gonna go broke. But what about the ones that you're not educated? They're gonna be broke in the future.
Right.
You know, so give the parents the opportunity to make them, give them the right to make the decision. The law says they can, but the Democrats say no, because it might affect the union, and it's gonna make our schools more and more get into more poverty. We're not gonna have the money to educate them. I mean, the same old story we've been hearing for 50 years. This is ridiculous.
The opposite's true.
Yes, exactly.
What does the government do when you give them more money?
Can
They
you get
spend
the
more
mic?
money.
Exactly. And you're probably creating a generation, here you are, where you
I
don't,
hear you.
when you don't
Can't
have,
hear me.
No,
Okay.
get the mic close to your mouth.
I will there.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I got, but sometimes he forget that he's on the air, and he's supposed to be the producer, you know, I have to tell him everything.
So, I don't know what the issue is, but that's my point on the school choice, Rolando, and I give you thanks for the opportunity
How do
to
you
share this.
think, how do you think it can be fixed? How do you view?
By starting electing leaders that understand the real needs of the community, by starting electing leaders that are not gonna be bought out like most of them are, by starting elected leaders that are not bullying the ones that go against them. I'll give you a good example, and I'm gonna be proud to say this. I've been a Democrat all my life, and when I went against the politicians and the school choice, they didn't want school choice. They wanted to make sure it was a dead issue. They were not gonna push it. When I said this is wrong, the way you're acting, I'm not gonna go that route. I'm gonna go for the parents, and I'm gonna fight for school choice. Well, automatically I'll put like some kind of blacklist in the Democrats, where if anybody's gonna do anything, don't call Miguel. Don't get involved with Miguel. Don't buy his radio program. Don't even talk to this dude, because he's blacklist. He's not a Democrat party. This is the hypocrisy we're seeing in the party. This is the leadership that we're seeing that has no respect to the people who got him elected. And this is the kind of bullying that we don't need a party to be created to bully the community
Comes
around.
from the party.
You are elected
The
to
party's the
serve,
problem.
not to be bullied.
The party's the problem.
Exactly. It goes back to the party. We need people who understand people. I am getting really fed up with the puppets that we're electing, and they don't do anything to that's
Good
effectively
example on a
they're going to
national
advance the
basis is
community.
Joe Lieberman. He started talking to the Republicans a little bit, was even mentioned as perhaps a split ticket Republican nominee, whatever, right? And then the Democrats, that was it for them.
At
He
one
was
time, yes.
blacklisted. They ran the guy against him in the primary, and the guy won because they had all the money behind him.
This is
And then Joe Lieberman switched to independent and beat that guy in the general election.
Yeah. And keep your eye on the independent party. I keep in mind, people like me, there's hundreds of thousands. It's not just me saying this. People are fed up with the system, and this politician needs to wake up and start listening to the constituents, not to the little group that's around them all day, cheering them, and they think they're doing a good job with them. They know they're politically incorrect, but they can get away with it. And I think it's time that the people, he said, well, what can we do? We need to get the people to understand what the issues are and make their decisions. Not the decision that the uncle tells them or the TV comedian tells them. It's the decision they're going to make, because that decision is going to affect the family and the children in the future of the political system.
And that's the tough part right there. 'Cause
That's a challenge.
You know,
Yeah.
47% is a number I like to throw around, have been dumbed down in this country. And when I say dumbed down, you're like in the minus column for intelligence.
Isn't it incredible?
It's unbelievable.
It's sad.
And that's been a game plan of the Democrat Party for decades. Dumb down the kids, dumb down the
Well,
kids.
we know the numbers are coming out right now. The millennium voters are not buying this crap anymore.
The younger ones are not.
They're saying, wait a minute. I really admire the 18, 20 years, the young 18, 25s. Man, they have a different mind. Yes, exactly. That's what I tell my children. I got children this age. I said, look, you're the generation cleanup. We screwed it up royal. You got to come in and clean it up. If you don't clean it up, God help this country.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You know, because I have no idea.
Because we're the only one out there, so I
Yeah.
mean, where do you go if you don't have this place?
Yeah.
You know,
So
it's
what
bad.
do you suggest? Who do we need to talk? Who do we need to yell at to make sure that this school choice can be a choice?
I don't think yelling at anyone is going to be an answer solved, because you already have, we're 9 weeks to the elections. You already have your do's and your don'ts. The ones that are going to go, for example, one way, they're already determined to go that. Right now it's a matter of who's going to go vote. You need to go out and vote. And the way we're going to change things is by going out to vote.
If the school choice is in the ballot?
No, it's not in the ballot, but the politicians who are against school choice are all on the ballot.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
you should look
What's
at
before
my,
the Supreme Court? What
maybe
is that
you should
issue?
look at my.
We were waiting for the Supreme Court order a couple, 2-3 weeks ago, and it's still put on hold. We're still waiting for the decision. There's over 8,000 families who have applied for this program, that they're tired of the school system in Nevada, that they're looking for an alternative for educating their children with their money.
Well, I'm gonna give you an inside information there. Nobody else has it, but
Only Rolando.
only Rolando. The Supreme Court is gonna wait until after the election
Oh,
to make.
I would not, I don't underestimate that idea at all, because, you know, that's the way
What is
politics
the
work.
issue before them?
The what?
What is the actual issue that they're trying to consider?
Right now, there was a couple on the tip. Remember, ACLU was the one that put the block. They're the one that came forward and said, no, this is unconstitutional because you cannot give money to a church if that whole idea was you're going to take money from the school district to give it to a school, and that school is a Catholic school, for example. Well, now that's government and school.
Oh,
so
okay.
you cannot mix government and education, together. So that became an issue. But the Supreme Court said that's ridiculous. That's not going to work. So that got thrown out. There's another couple more issues in the table that they're trying to block. They're really ridiculous because it's all political. But the bottom line is the school district is fighting to keep every dollar that's available to them from the taxes. But the unfortunate part for the school district is they're not paying attention. Is their numbers are too high, dropouts. If you are my CEO for my corporation and my numbers were that low, I will have you on the unemployment line a week after I got the report. And we're not doing this to our politicians. We need to start putting them accountable. If they're not delivering, fire them. Don't vote for them.
And today, the union and the county already made peace. They already signed an agreement, and Larry Weekly and everybody else and the commissioners and the board of commissioners praised the union, and they all applaud, and so they all in cahoot. They all.
It's a big business. I mean, what is it? The school district's $2 billion budget. I mean, it's a tremendous amount of money going on through a system that's not working for the American people. It's not working for the parents. We're the payers. If my investment is not paying off, it's time for an alternative. Brian Sandoval, Michael Robertson fought hard for it. It was passed, and now they blocked it. So it really, we're going backwards here. We're going backwards. Remember the Zoom schools? Where Brian said, I'm going to give you guys a couple $1 billion, see what happens? All the schools that were part of Zoom schools were all total success. Now they give them more money. Well, how are we going to know if this program is a success if they don't even allow it to try? When a try should be the minimal effort should be taking place with the high numbers of dropouts that we have in the state of Nevada.
Yeah.
I mean, how are we going to bring in Silicon Valley to the Nevada Valley when we don't have the intelligence of working those computers because we don't
That's
have
probably the
education.
biggest issue.
It's ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
so ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. I don't even know. I'm so frustrated with these politicians that we're electing. They're not doing their job.
Okay, and do we have time to talk about another issues? A little more politics?
Yeah, well, you got more time on your show, and you got a whole hour, don't you?
Yeah, I got a whole hour, I guess, if my producer allow me to have it. Yeah.
Well, I'll stick around for as long as you want me to hear. And
What,
see what I can.
What's going on in the political scene? What I hear, I don't know if you hear that, then the relationship between Cortez Masto and Harry Reid are not the best anymore. They have some frictions in there. Do you hear anything about that?
I don't go that far as getting involved with internal gossip. But I tell you that Catherine Cortez is a very bright woman. She's very intelligent. She was my favorite. And I'm not discarding her at this point yet. But when I heard that she was not going for school choice or even opening for the idea of discussion, she was just against school choice, it made me think twice now, wait a minute.
But
If we're going to have somebody at the federal level going to be blocking money for education because we don't want our parents to have that much power, then I really have to, it's not me thinking about me, it's me thinking about my children and for the future of Nevada. That's what I'm thinking of. We need to start really.
Yeah, but
I love but Catherine Castro, Cortez. She would be welcome to my house any day and be treated with high respect. But for the fact that I know that she's not supporting school choice, I have my doubts now.
did she tell you that?
It was in the news last week, a couple of weeks ago.
Well, you cannot.
Yeah. So, well, that's another thing. We're gonna have her on our radio show pretty soon.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk to her and set the record straight.
You're gonna have it in
Yeah.
the radio show? That's
Yeah, we have most of the people on our show running for office, so this is how we get a chance. Well, some of them don't accept our
She's
invitations.
been here twice.
So I think she's a wonderful Latina. I'm very proud of her. I mean, her father was an extraordinary. You met her father.
Yeah.
He was the Latinos that opened a lot of doors for the Latino community here in Las Vegas back in the early days. He did a lot of great for Nevada, so I know in her heart she wants to do for her father and do great for Nevada. She did it as an attorney general, and I think she can do it as a senator.
She did.
But I'm really concerned on the school choice issue. We got to get the power back to the parents.
So
Government cannot
who-
take my children.
Who else you gonna go with? Joe
I don't know. We got 9 weeks. Who are you going with? I got 9 weeks. I haven't made my decision yet.
No, I don't go with Joe Heck, no matter what.
Joe Haig is out of your picture.
Out of my picture
Of course.
completely. To me, anybody that took sides with Sandoval and didn't go to the Republican convention just to listen to Sandoval because they
Well,
didn't want
you
to
gotta
support,
remember there was a
because they didn't
political-
want to support Donald Trump.
So
You know.
so you say that every Republican that did not go to the convention,
Any
because in
Republican
Nevada,
at high level,
in Nevada it was
any
only what?
Republican at high level, like for example,
Well, you had Mark Amodei and Dan Schwartz were the only ones that went.
well, no, what's the
The
one?
elected
that-
officials.
What is the one? The senator? What's his name?
Veronica, Seaman?
No.
Here in Nevada?
Yeah,
Heller?
Heller, Dean Heller.
He didn't go.
Dean Heller, no, he didn't go.
No.
But he was already off my
Oh.
book already
Okay.
because he went
Well,
to
did you-
Cuba.
did you-
He went to Cuba. Anybody that go from here to
I-
Cuba is out of my.
I can understand your frustration on
Period.
that Cuba deal that took place. Yes,
Yeah.
I understand that.
And it's taking place. A lot of people die.
I know.
And this
I-
guy is putting people over there,
I-
taking planes over there. That's why I.
But okay, what about the people that live inside Cuba? How do they feel? I've been getting a lot of praises of how they feel.
Well, by
This
now.
is the new, remember, this is the new generation of
By
what happened
now,
50 years ago.
By now, to me, like those 5,000 Cubans that were in Costa Rica, they was asking. To me, anybody that was there for 55 years, they already brainwashed. They already part of the Castro regime, Castro system, Castro mentality.
Yeah, but do
You know,
they
I don't
feel? Do
think
they
it's
feel?
too late for them to do.
Do they feel more free? with this, they think, I don't know what's going on, I haven't been to Cuba, but what you ever heard, do you have the people of Cuba, do they feel more free now?
I don't know.
I don't know either, but-
I don't know. I'm
but
not
it is-
interested to know anybody, any country that make, I'm not talking about the Cuban, that is a Cuban problem. I'm talking about the United States
Well,
of America.
okay,
If
okay.
they make peace with Cuba, they are not.
So your
doing the right-
situation is, you're upset with the Governor Sandoval and Dean Heller and who else?
No, Sandoval has nothing
Sandoval
to
and
do
Joe Head, because they didn't go to the national convention where Donald Trump was
Right.
going to accept the presidency.
Right.
Well, keep in mind that Donald Trump was a high equity, lost, potentially lost with the Latino vote for areas that have a large Latino population. So keep in mind that the insults that were made by Donald Trump, they were taken as insults. I think a lot of things that were said by Donald Trump are true. Okay, let's face the facts. And the way he said it may not be accepted by a lot of people. All right, but you have to really look between the lines. What did he say? Basically, the word he said all was incorrect. He should have said, there are some people coming across the border from Mexico, they are bringing in drugs, there are rapists, there are murderers. Yes, we have people coming in from Canada who are rapists, who are killers, who are just as well, but they're a different color, but they're coming in from another border, but they're not being looked at as they do Mexico, because Mexico has a higher traffic because of the work people come to America. So with that in mind, but he did say the truth. There is a flow. There is drugs. There is murders. I mean, you look at the border. I have a cousin that works for the Border Patrol. You know, we talk once a month sometimes, and he tells me, Miguel, this is actually what's going on. You guys out there in Nevada, you don't see this. We're at a war zone with the cartels on the border. We need stronger laws to be able to support this. So they are in agreement with that. Now, keep in mind that the Customs and the Immigration Department all support the ideas of Donald Trump. Now, I'm not going to say the idea about a wall is a diplomatically good decision as an international relationship with Mexico. I don't think the wall is needed. There's more political areas it can take care of, spending the money politically in different areas than a wall. You can do a virtual wall. I mean, we have the technology to satellite. We can actually set up a wall without cement. Even like anybody tries to cross that wall, will there be a dictation?
In the beginning, where was 16 Republicans running for the presidency?
Against one. And I really didn't think Donald would be the candidate.
Okay, do you think it's fair that George Bush went to some event sitting between Joe Biden and Barack Obama while the convention was taking place? Do you think they all agree that whoever was going to be the nominee, they were going to support them?
Yeah, they were,
Let me tell
they
you,
were the first to write it up.
in my opinion, I can care less if it's Trump or it's anybody else, because my level is not that high. Okay, I don't even get any connection with Trump or anybody else. To me, I'm interested in Nevada. I'm interested in Clark County. That's why I go to the Clark County meetings and everything else. But
Yeah, but we're talking about you were bad as heck for not attending the
I
convention.
think it was, yes, he played the game. I'm not gonna say we, I believe that Sandoval is a puppet of Harry Reid. He do what Harry Reid tell him because he owes everything that he has to Harry Reid. Assembly, Attorney General, Federal Judge, everything, and he never finished up to now. He never finished, and he almost don't finish the second term because they was looking at him for the Supreme Court.
Are you happy with the way where the Nevada's going?
No.
The changes that are taking place?
No, I don't. Look
What is it that you don't like? What is
Look
it?
at the tax that he raised. We got what, $1 billion? What is it? $1.5 billion in tax and raises, and now they don't call them taxes, they call them fees. You know.
Do you really believe? I think this. If you're elected, like say you're the governor, you're Governor Ross, and you have your state just went through a tremendous issue with the recession. Your unemployment was the highest ever. I mean, the state's probably in some kind of a deficit, and your schools are all screwed up. I mean, business is not coming in like they do, so you got to get to work. Roll up your sleeves and start working. And the first 4 years he did all kind. There was a tax issue that had to take place to do it. To finish off the situation that was developed, to wrap it up and get the economy back into place, there had to be an injection. And unfortunately, it had to be a tax. But it's not forever. It's for a while. You think it's going to stay like
The
that?
best example of eternal life on this planet is
Well,
a government tax. That's
I guess
eternal
once you
life.
give the rat a piece of cheese, he's not going to want to stop
Of
eating.
course.
Yeah.
Of course, they never gonna get those taxes.
Well, I'm not I don't disagree with the situation that in Nevada we have to get a cash issue in there, so taxes were needed at that point. Now, I think well, let's give you an example. The schools are crying because they say there's not enough money. Now we have the cannabis Proposition 2 coming in. Now, if cannabis is passed, you got $150, $200 million coming into the school system that's not gonna be, is not gonna go tax your business. He's not going to tax the casinos. He's not going to tax the 7-Elevens. He's going to tax a product that is bringing in tremendous results in other states. So that is an alternative as a tax that's not going to affect everybody, just the users. Maybe those kind of solutions in the future, well, they already are. What am I talking about? Tobacco, alcohol is the same thing. So, look, bottom line is, if we need money, we got to get it. If you're a politician, you're not going to get out of your checkbook. You got to go get taxes.
Well, I believe before you raise taxes, maybe you can do something to find employment for these people that are not working, and they gonna bring the money, they gonna spend the money in the community, because before you go and take your car and drive to Los Angeles or to Santa Monica or any place else to have a good time, you're gonna make sure that your money is spent here, because you need to make sure that the barber, you got your barber, you got your shoe shine, you got everything else that you need to take care of before you even think about going to Santa Monica and have a good time. So I believe employment is more important. It's more important. Raising the tax and raising the price of the hourly rate is not going to solve the place. It's not going to solve, because what's going to happen? Any of those companies, McDonald's and anything else, they're going to go automated.
Especially, I think the fast foods are going to be hit the hardest. Imagine right now McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, all the burger chains.
They're going to go automated.
There's a hamburger warfare going on right now.
Yeah.
You can get a whole meal for $4. If you start paying $15 an hour, you're going to shut down.
Yeah.
You're going to have to shut down, because nobody's going to pay $15 a hamburger.
And I tell you the truth, if
automated,
they keep asking for that $15 an hour, they are gonna go automated,
They are.
like they used to have in New York years ago. You go there, you put the quarter, you get the sandwich, you get
Yeah,
there.
remember that? I remember that. The
Okay.
airports had that, and the bus depots used to have that.
Yeah.
You know, that's probably what's going to
And
happen.
McDonald's will do the same thing.
Do you blame that?
No, I don't blame
I
them.
mean, if I have 100 employees, I have to be paying $1,500 per hour. I'm only bringing in 1,000. I'm shutting down.
Yeah.
You know?
And who's doing that? Who's doing that? The unions. The unions. And every time they raise,
Right.
they go worse.
Yep.
Look what happened with the Binion, when the Binion Casino was on a strike. They raised the union fee because they had to feed those people that was striking. And
Well, they do that all the time.
and
Every time
then
there's a
they never,
strike.
the strike was over and the price is still up. And then they went to the
It's like the
frontier.
politicians were talking about the
They
taxes.
went to the frontier, because it's a union. Politician and union is the same thing. The union, in the new frontier, they went in a strike. I think it was the longest strike in the state of Nevada.
Like 10 years?
Okay? And they
Maybe 20
raised,
or 30, I
they
think.
raised the price for the union membership, and the strike is over, and
They're still paying.
they're still paying.
You know what?
You know.
The unions are not like that. What in the 10 years ago, 15 years ago? Unions are a corporation now.
Yeah,
Okay.
they are.
I mean, you have the in the good old days that the president would live in the neighborhoods with the people, the workers, and they share and everything and try to make the best of everything possible. Now, the leaders of the union are the CEOs of a corporation. They got $1 million homes. They drive the best cars while the workers are working clunkers and trying to figure out how they're going to pay the next bill for the dentist and stuff like that.
That's
So
right.
there's an imbalance inside the system itself. But when they want more money, they raise a little bit of hell, and they get people excited. They go right around for them, and then hopefully they'll get some more out of it. But it's all political. Everything is political. We have to understand that. That's why, as a community, we have to be more participants in the political process.
That's why our Bramlett was as well like as he was, because he drive his own car and he leave his car at the airport, and that's how he got killed, of course. But our Bramlett was a leader. He walk around, he go to the strike, he participate in the strikes. He was what people assume a leader is supposed to be. We don't have leaders no more. We don't have leaders. Who's a leader? Especially, I hear the Donald Trump met with Spanish leaders, Latino leaders. I don't know what the difference between Spanish, Hispanics, Latino. I don't know what the difference.
Nothing. It's all the same. They just give you different titles. Latino,
Okay.
Latino, Hispanic,
He
Latino,
met
Chicano,
with,
Mexican,
he
American.
met with the Spanish leaders. What leaders? There was no leaders over there.
What is a leader?
I don't know.
Are you a
what
leader?
is- No, I'm not.
Well,
Definitely
you're
not.
leading in the community by having a radio program. You're leading in the community by
No,
having
no,
a
I-
newspaper. You are a voice in the community. Whether you don't want to accept it or not, you consider a leader.
I get
think-
an opinion. I give an opinion and people take it or not.
I don't think we have the right to dog anybody, whether they're leaders or not. I think we should just accept the fact that if somebody is invited to participate and get to the negotiating table about an issue, and they do get invited, it's because somebody thinks they are somebody, so they got invited and they try to work out an
Okay,
issue.
so
But why
don't
do we have to dog? Why do we have to dog people for expressing themselves?
No,
This is still
they don't
America.
matter, but
We still have the freedom of speech.
because the people who organize, they only organize with the people who agree with them. Look, I just
That is
read
not true.
Tomorrow you need to read an article that is going to be out in Las Vegas Tribune. What happened is very simple. There's no Republicans in government in this city, in this state. Every Democrat is in the Assembly and is in the Senate. There's no Republicans. But invite them too. Invite those Ruben Kewen that you know I don't like. You know.
They have the look. It was a meeting. They have meetings at different levels. I mean, they have meetings with CEOs of corporations. They have meetings with the U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce.
This is the
They
guy
have
that
meetings.
might
They
be
have
the
meetings with big.
president. This is the
But at
guy.
the local level, they met with a group of people. I mean, people
But-
making a big issue out of
But
that.
let me ask
The
you.
only ones that are making a big issue are the ones that didn't get invited.
No, I could not get invited because I'm media. The media was not invited. And it would be unfair if
The media was invited. The media was there. CBS was there. I mean, Fox was there. Univision was there.
For what? For a half an
Telemundo
hour?
was there.
For, no, a
Well,
minute.
whatever. When you go to a press conference, it's not gonna be an all-day affair. It's gonna be a 5-10 minute deal. Okay,
No,
we gotta
that
go.
was because I was told that the media was not allowed in the room.
Well, see, there you go, Rolando. You're making rumors up because I was there. I was at that meeting.
Uh-huh.
The media was there,
Okay.
and they were there, and everything else, like any event. It was a closed door meeting, but the media was invited to get recognized who was there at the meeting. That's what basically the media was there for.
But to me, that was a bunch of people that don't know anything about the community. What a waitress will know about the community? A waitress, they only been here for 6 years.
Oh, you're underestimating the value of
6
individuals.
years. 6 years in Las Vegas. A waitress. What does she know about the government? What does she know about?
How do you know? 6 years is a long time to learn something. I can learn everything in 2 weeks. Why
Well-
would she in 6 years not learn that?
I don't know.
Well, see, you're criticizing something that has no background to support what you say. I think we should be more respectful. Say, look, if you went to the meeting, I hope that your voice was heard and you made some impact. Whatever happened, happened. But don't be shooting
I'd
at
like
the
to know
people
who-
just because somebody was there.
I'd like to
he was a
know
bad
who
person.
organized that meeting. I'd like to know who organized.
Well, you're a journalist. That's where investigation comes in.
No, because I was with Latino. My paper is in English. I have.
We all spoke English at the meeting. Nobody spoke Spanish.
Well, but my paper was with my paper is in English. I'm saying who organized it? Mo Dennis, he wasn't there. And Ruben Cuban, he wasn't there. You know, I mean, who was there? Then who was in charge of inviting those people to that meeting?
Dun, dun, dun. That's where the mission starts. Somebody had to put it together.
Okay, who invited you?
Actually, there was a meeting prior to that, but the night before I knew about it, and I said, look, I want to be at this meeting. I'm not for or against, I'm not made a decision yet, but I want to know what this meeting, who's going to be at the meeting, can I be there? And of course, with
Of course, they
influences,
said yes.
with influences, no, they said no, but I went to another source, a little higher. I said, look, I want to be at this meeting, what can I do to get
And
this
those
meeting?
sources don't have names?
Hey, figure it out yourself. This is an investigation. You do an investigation of who was there. I'm telling you, I was there, okay? And I was invited by a source, and I was at the meeting. And it was a great meeting, as a matter of fact. Latinos should be proud of what happened at that meeting. And I'll tell you, it was a very good meeting, and I was impressed. But I can also see Donald Trump going to Mexico, being Mr. Nice, and coming over here and pulling out a rifle and shooting everybody. You know what? It was crazy what he did. But the Latino impact did make some impact, because after the meeting in Washington, New York, the next day he was a little softer on immigration, and eventually he's going to have to go a little more softer than that if he wants to get in that 20% of Latino vote. But that's what happened. It was no secret. I think the ones that didn't get invited are upset. How do you think about that?
It doesn't bother me. I wasn't invited.
So
but
what's
I'm
the
not-
issue of who make this meeting and this and that?
I like
They're
to
not
know.
leaders.
I
and
would like to know who choose the people who was going to be in
the
that
organizer, whoever I didn't talk to the organizer. I talked to somebody who knew the organizer.
meeting. Okay, so I don't care. I
It
wasn't
doesn't
going
make
to
a
go
difference.
anyway. I wasn't going to go anyway.
If you
So
would get an invitation.
no, I would not go. I don't go to any of that stuff.
Okay, well, you are
I
a
don't.
journalist.
I don't go to any of that stuff. But
But it was a good meeting. It was a good meeting. It was a constructive meeting. It was informative, and it gave us a little bit of idea of what route.
well, I don't
this
know.
guy's
From
gonna
what I
take.
can see in Facebook, everybody was fighting among each other.
It was, I call it dialoguing. We had dialogue going.
Okay.
Those were upset. Hey, you can talk about any
But
subject.
the people that was arguing on Facebook are the same people that was in there.
No, it wasn't. It was the people that were defending were the ones that were at the meeting. The accusers were the ones that were upset because they didn't get invited.
Oh.
That's what happened.
Oh, well,
You know how it is. It's like that in every community. Se llama la envidia in Spanish.
I don't know what it was. It doesn't bother me one way or the other one, because I don't.
So let's stay focused on the issue here. The issue is, what is the difference between Trump and Hillary for the presidency, and focus on those points. Now, to everybody's surprise, keep in mind that in Nevada there's almost 200,000 independent voters, nonpartisan, and you have the Green Party, and then you have the Liberal Party. They're getting points too. So this is going to be one of the craziest elections you ever seen in the history of the USA.
It probably is. It probably is, and I hope that it will never get to the point where Hillary Clinton will win the election.
Well, that'd be crazy.
Because that would be crazy. Not only crazy, that would be the end of this country. Because according to the media, and they're not trying to make rumors, like, I don't know, you got that word lately, you use it too much, rumors. I don't think her health is that great. and if anything happened to her, and that guy Tim, whatever his name is,
He'll be the next president.
become the next
Yeah.
president, that would be another Cuba, another Venezuela, and another, because that guy definitely is a communist. And the people that don't live in a
Well-
communist country don't realize how dangerous the communists.
This is something that brings up an important point, What happened, remember, keep in mind that right now Hillary Clinton is still involved with the legal issue. They haven't let go yet. And they're finding new details all the time of what happened with that mailing list and so forth. So the bottom line is, once the elections are over, let's just say worst case scenario, she becomes the president of the United States. Of course, she's going to have a lot of pull inside the power of the investigation and so forth. But there's still people inside the system that believe in democracy and they believe in legal stuff. She can still be indicted as a president and be removed from office. That would be an embarrassment for an America when we were told early not to vote for her. So there's a lot of negative we have to look at before a decision is made.
The FBI should have the decency to finish that investigation and do what they have to do without politics in between,
Yeah.
and save
I
the
thought you're
country.
supposed to have an appointed investigator when politics even have a
Is-
smell of anything.
Isn't
going
it the
on.
way it was and all
I
that?
thought,
we
unless there's a
dealt with-
Democrat in office. I
We did
guess.
that with a Nixon.
Well,
for
but that
Watergate.
was a Republican.
Yeah,
It only
exactly.
happens when there's a Republican in office, you have a special investigator.
But I've been
Interesting
in this
point.
town for too long. I know how the system in this town works. And I'm telling you that half of the time, the people that they are supposedly in charge do not pay attention to people that are in the lower level. I don't care one way or the other one. I'm gonna have my opinion. I'm gonna write what I want to write. He can tell you, I didn't go to the opening of the headquarters. I got an invitation. He invited me to go with him. Victoria invited me to go with him. Didi Lima invited me to go with her. I don't go to public events. I don't like to be in public events. I would not go to that, even if I would have been invited. I would have not. You can
Well,
put that, you
just-
can keep that in your mind, and you can tell anybody else. But I'm gonna have my own idea, my own mind, my own opinion, and regardless, and probably that's one of the reasons why people don't want to deal with me, because they cannot bullshit me at all in any way or shape. People
Yeah.
cannot.
Well, see, you're like, you're old. You have how many years? You've been here like 50 years. You
In
basically
Las
built Las Vegas.
63 years.
So you see, you started. You see Las Vegas when it was desert.
Yeah.
Now you see it turn into basically a metropolitan community.
Right.
So you have a much stronger voice than all of us because of the experience that you see how politics have developed over the years. Now Nevada is very political. I mean, I did the story of when it became a state and how it's grown from there and so forth. But yes, I do agree that you knowing that is a big plus.
Yeah.
There's a big plus.
People like Tony Badillo, for example. Tony Badillo, I think he was here before I was, Eddie Escobedo was very much involved. Eddie liked much that.
Eddie was more in,
publicity. He liked the
he more in the limelight.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
liked the highlight. I never was that way. That's why I got along with Eddie the way I did. He used to go to places and then come back and tell me. He used to write for my paper when I had the Spanish paper, before he even dreamed about having the Spanish paper.
What about, like, for example, Arturo Cambay? I mean, the old school folks.
Yeah.
You guys had there was a pretty close system here back in the days. I mean, Nevada was very prosperous. It was prosperous for many, many years. Things were going right, no?
Yeah.
Where did it start going wrong?
When people start thinking that somebody was better than somebody else.
You mean the elected officials?
Elected officials or not elected officials, or when people are not smart enough or intelligent enough to accept criticism. Like for
Like
example,
now, like now.
like Otto Merida. Otto Merida and what's his name, the other guy that was,
The new president?
yeah,
Peter.
Peter Guzman. You know, they can take criticism. They cannot take a different opinion than what they are.
Well, see, they
You
cannot
know,
take criticism, then you can remove the word leader. Because the leader needs to be open-minded, needs to listen to both sides of the story before I make a decision.
You
If they
know,
cannot accept the criticism that it could be.
They,
good,
all
then-
these people, in my opinion, and I'm not using anybody else, in my opinion, all these people are there only for the money. Otto Medina, as the president of the Latin Chamber of Commerce, should be thinking about how to help the business, the Latino business in Las Vegas to prosper, not to go to Cuba to make business with Cuba. Like Peter Guzman and him, they flew to Cuba and they are doing business with Cuba right now.
What's wrong with that? It's an opportunity, it's a financial
They are,
opportunity for your
they
family.
are, they are the Latin Chamber of Commerce of Las Vegas. They not the United States Latin Chamber of Commerce. They should concentrate. It's plenty to help the Latino businesses. And here, that it is not going over there. They were not in the stadium meeting. They were nowhere to be found in the stadium meeting. They were not invited to that meeting with Donald Trump, even though they're not supposed to be politically involved. They are supposed to be part of the leadership.
Yeah.
They are leaders.
I think-
But what is more important, to go play golf with some big shot?
Yeah. I think, I do agree with you. I've known, I came here in 2001. Otto Merida was heading the land chamber. I cannot see any benefit being in the chamber for many years.
No.
There was really, I agree with you, it was just a little club.
I was,
But now with Peter at the front line of the land chamber, I've talked to Peter a few times already concerning the potential, what they're doing now. I think we have a whole new agenda coming up. I think Peter's going to be an effective leader. I think he's going to be
Well, I hope so.
more involved with the community. And I really believe that Peter is more open-minded than Otto was. Otto, you couldn't talk to him. You know, whatever Otto
I
thought
hope
he was
so.
the godfather.
I hope so.
And he had no
because
power.
I tell you, I hope I can be wrong. I hope I can tell Pete 5 years from now, hey, I made a mistake. To me, he's all talk and no action, in my opinion.
You're talking about Otto or Peter?
Peter.
Well, yeah, give him. He just took office.
He-
I give him a
he
break.
give a good
Let him
talk.
organize himself.
He give a good talk. That's
I
my
have
opinion.
faith. I think Peter
Well,
is
I'm
going to do
glad.
a tremendous job.
I'm
in the
glad
land
because
chamber.
it would be the benefit of the community.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not
That's
gonna
what I
be-
see. That's
you
what
know,
I see.
Let me tell you, my next birthday, I'm gonna be 86 years old.
You're still young.
I'm not gonna be here too much longer. So I want the best for, first of all, Las Vegas. First of all, Las Vegas. Second one, I want the best for the Latino. I always been very, very proud of Tony Alamo. I'm not saying he's perfect, but I've
He's a
been
great
very,
man.
very proud of him. I was very proud of Manny Cortez, and I thought he was going to be the leader that the Latino community needed. But he chose politics. That's another story for another show. And Tony Alamo, I think he did great. While everybody else was sitting in the bar snorting cocaine, he was working and he was doing, learning the business and something that the Cuban community can be proud of. And
Well, he
that's-
definitely became and is still a highly respected individual in Nevada. Tony Alamo Sr. and now you have Tony Alamo Jr.
And
They're basically
Junior.
following the same
Yeah, but
footsteps.
Junior is more Americanized than Tony is a little more Latino, a little more. He got the roots still.
Well, you know, there's two generations there, Rolando. You can't have the same generation
Right.
that we did, you know,
Right.
50 years ago.
Right.
Is that we're talking about earlier, that the 40% of the millennials that are voting, you know, they're not looking at Hillary Clinton as a candidate no more, like maybe we did when we were in high school, in junior high or college or whatever. Well, actually, it had to be high school or college because you had to be 18 to vote. But now, like we said, the young people are taking a different approach at this, and I'm really proud of that. If they say we're not going to do this because this, my hat is off to them because it's their world of the future.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are gonna deal with the headaches coming up at the forefront. And God bless them. And we're here to build anything we can to help them.
I always been that way. Give the new generation the opportunity to express themselves, and maybe the old people can do something like wise a little bit and give them a little wise opinion, ideas, but let them start taking over these things.
Yeah.
You know, that's the
I love when I see young people involved in politics, in the schools, college campuses. Whatever they're doing, it's good because that's a sign of the new leadership coming forward.
I guess my producer is in a strike because we went past 5 minutes over the 10 minutes.
That's a strike?
Has he given you the last paycheck?
He's the one that gave me the paycheck. I'm a poor Cuban refugee. I'm nothing.
Rolando's one of the richest Latinos in Clark County.
Yes, sure. Miguel, thank you for being
Rolando,
here.
pleasure.
You know this show is always at your disposal.
And likewise, what we do in our community, you're always welcome.
Thank you very much for listening. And my name is Rolando Larraz. Every word I